Come on, I'm going to say it like the old folk. You say, we trying to get all of our ducks in a row before we move. And then after we moved, the ducks was in a row, but nothing happened. See, it's better to move on God's timing with your ducks out of line than to think you know more than God. No way you gonna faithfully serve God and be dumb. No, he gonna make you. Come on, somebody. His knowledge, his understanding will make you smarter than what you really are. Oh, I got to preach this one. What he tells you in prayer will make you look real good when you carry out his instructions. Whoa! How did she know to do that? God told her in prayer what to do. And whenever you do what God tells you to do, in the end, you're going to look real good. I wish I had somewhere. You're going to look real smart, real intelligent. Oh, but this intelligence didn't come from Google. Didn't come from social media. Didn't come from the internet. I'm not a product of what you can find online. But I'm a product of what happens when you get on the main line. Y'all don't remember that song? Jesus on the main line. Call him up. Too many of us are online and ain't on the main line. Be seated. And that's what's gotten you. Don't get mad at me. Not to the point where you leave. Hear the whole message. If you choose not to come back, that's up to you. But part of what has some of us looking dumb is that you don't realize there are some things too difficult for you. You don't even realize the problem you're dealing with right now, that's too complicated for you to solve. You don't have the answers. Woo-wee. Somebody just sitting there, they thinking, they like, did he just call me dumb? To my face, did he tell me that? But see, what you have to understand is that as human beings, it equates limited beings. The smartest of the smartest man compared to God is a dummy. Do you hear me? No matter how many degrees he or she has, when you compare him to God, his understanding, come on y'all, is unsearchable. That's what the Bible says. His understanding is unsearchable. And so, I want for a moment to look at man. When I say man, I'm talking human. Limited beings. And before I go there, tell your neighbor, as humans, we are all limited beings. If you're around somebody always acting like they know everything, that's somebody that you need to be careful hanging with. Because they not only going to mess themselves up, but they going to mess up whoever listens to them. Now, Jesus himself said in Matthew 19, we're not going there, in verse 26, he said to his disciples concerning a situation, he said, with men, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. Watch this, are doable. See, the word possible means doable. There are problems and situations you look at with us, it's become impossible. But when we give it to God, now it's doable. That means he can do something about this. He can change this for the better. Come on, ain't got time to go there. But see, even Joseph knew this when his brothers sold him into Egypt. He was betrayed by his own brothers who meant it for evil. I'm preaching to somebody. I said his brothers meant it for evil. His haters meant it for evil. But when God raised Joseph up in Egypt, this is what Joseph told his brother. You meant it for evil, but the one to whom all things are possible meant it for my good. See, that's letting me know that there are situations that we can't bring good out of it. It's too difficult for us to bring about better out of certain situations. Listen to me, including our own lives. Think about where you used to be. When you surrender to God, look what he has done in you since you surrendered to him. See, you weren't able to bring about the change. Am I right? Some of our marriages are productive because of what God was able to do in them when we gave it to him. Finances better. Why? We gave it to him. How many believe God can do more with $10 than you can do with 1,000? Yes, he can. Go to the book of Genesis. Because right now we're focusing on, is there anything too hard for man? Let's find out something about man. Genesis 2 in verse number 7. Genesis 2 verse number 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Watch this. And man became a living being or soul. What I want you to see here is that when it comes to man, we were created. We were created. Pastor, why is that important? Because if we were created, that means that the creator is always greater than the creature or the creation. See, y'all don't hear me. I'm already coming against part of our problem in our nation is that we idolize and we make men to be idols. Men are never to be worshiped. As great as the apostles was when men tried to worship them, the apostles told men, get up on your feet. For we are men also like you are, but not in the time that we live in, where preachers and pastors and bishops and apostles demand to be worshiped. And anytime you worship a man more than the creator who created that man, something is wrong with you. I said something is wrong with you. When you put your spouse before God, you make your spouse an idol. Yes, you do. Because man was created. You remember how Paul had to rebuke a church for worshiping the creatures more than the creator. Look at your neighbor and say, Pastor, right about this one. And tell them we can't afford to get this twisted. Tell your neighbor, man is a created being. Are y'all getting this? See, we're lower than God. Way lower. Now notice what he tells us we were created from. Before you get feeling too good about yourself. See, basically God using these scriptures for somebody who has the big head this morning about how great you are. Can you hear that pen? Can you hear that small pin piercing into your head? Can you hear the air coming out slowly? And see, if you look around, you see somebody frowning and mean mugging the pastor right now. Their head getting pierced. Psst. See, if you could hear it in the spiritual realm, you sit beside somebody and you just say, psst. Whenever we think we know more than what we really know. Psst. Whenever you think prayer can be called at the church and folk need to gather around the altar, but we ain't seen you. Psst. See, I know it's true. When you start missing prayer, you're feeling too good about yourself. And see, God gonna send something. Y'all don't like this right here. Somebody. How does he know these things? He's had to pierce my head. Come on, y'all. Some of us that was always broke, and then we start getting a little money. Some of you, when God started giving you more money, he turned around and had to